What if the Mandela Effect is real? There is a moment. It arrives on an ordinary Tuesday. You are saying a name out loud, a name you have known for 30 years, a name you have spelled 1,000 times, a name that has lived in the part of you that does not get edited for as long as the name has been a name. The name on the thing is a different name. The thing is a book you have read 100 times. The thing is a brand you have spelled in line at the grocery store. The thing is a lyric you have sung in the car, on a long road, with the windows down. The thing in any of these moments has not changed. The memory in any of these moments is the wrong one. The moment the spell breaks is the moment you find out which one is the room you have been living in. The book is the Berenstain Bears. It has been the Berenstain Bears since 1962, when Stan and Jan Berenstain published the first one. The book on the cover has never had an E. The book on the cover has always been the Berenstain Bears. The memory is the Berenstain Bears. The memory has an E. The memory has had an E for as long as the memory has been the memory. The memory, in millions of readers, is so sure of the E that the discovery of the missing E feels less like a correction and more like a violation. Something has been edited. The reader did not do the editing. The reader is the only place the E was. There is a reason for this. Phonetically, Berenstain sounds like Berenstain. The brain hears what the brain expects. The brain fills in the missing vowel. The brain does this for thousands of words. The brain does not flag the work it has done. The brain hands the filled-in word back to memory as if memory had always known. That is the spell. That is the part of the spell that is the same in every other spell. The term was coined in 2009. The woman who coined it is named Fiona Broome. She runs a website. She gives lectures. She has given a name to a thing that had been happening since long before the name. In every household that has ever spelled a word it had only ever heard. Broome remembered something. She remembered the death of Nelson Mandela in a South African prison in the 1980s. Mandela did not die in prison. Mandela was released in 1990. Mandela became president of South Africa. Mandela died in 2013 in Johannesburg at the age of 95. The funeral was televised. The funeral was on every major network. Broome, on her site, asked a question. The question was simple. Who else remembers Mandela dying in prison? The answer, in the first 24 hours, was thousands. The subreddit R Mandela Effect was created that same year. It is still active. On any given day, it has new posts. The new posts are the same posts. The new posts are, did this happen or did I dream it? The new posts are about 100 different things. The pattern is the same. The brain does not store a record. The brain stores a reconstruction. This is the part of the story that the scientists have known for a long time. Elizabeth Loftus has been demonstrating it since the 1970s. Daniel Schachter, the Harvard psychologist, named the 7 sins of memory in 1999. One of the 7 sins is the sin of misattribution. Another is the sin of suggestibility. Another is the sin of bias. The Mandela Effect, depending on which example you pick, is one of the 7 or several of the 7 at once. The mechanism is this. The brain hears Berenstain. The brain expects Berenstain. The brain files Berenstain. The next time the brain retrieves the name, the brain retrieves what the brain filed, not what the cover said. The retrieval feels certain. The certainty is not a measure of accuracy. The certainty is a measure of how many times the reconstruction has been rehearsed. The Mandela Effect in this reading is not mysterious. The Mandela Effect in this reading is the brain doing what the brain has always done at a scale the internet made visible. The internet did not create the misremembering. The internet created the venue where the misremembering could meet. The Mandela Effect, in another reading, is the door. There are 3 readings of the Mandela Effect. The first is the simple one. The brain is wrong. The cover is right. Move on. This is the reading that most of the scientific community holds. It is, in a sense, the most generous reading, the one that puts the error where the error seems to be. The second is the simulation reading. The universe we live in is, on this reading, one of many. The Mandela Effect is the residue of a previous universe bleeding through. The simulation reading is unfalsifiable. The simulation reading is also exactly the kind of reading that gets made for exactly this kind of evidence. The third is the CERN reading. CERN operates the Large Hadron Collider in a tunnel under the Swiss-French border, 27 kilometers in circumference. The collider makes measurements. The measurements in the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics are the kind of measurements that split universes. CERN has denied the implication. The denial has the specific shape of a thing that is not denying. The collider was switched on in 2008. Fiona Broome coined the term in 2009. The collider was not the cause. The collider is the coincidence. The coincidence is the part of the question that the question is most sure of. The Mandela Effect, taken seriously, asks a question the question was not designed to ask. The question is not, are the memories wrong? The question is, wrong compared to what? If the cover is the source of truth, the memory is wrong. If the cover is the draft, the memory is the previous draft. If the cover has been revised and the memory has not, then the memory is the older version of the cover. The older version is the part of the universe was before the universe was edited. This is the part of the question is not equipped to answer. The question in this reading becomes a question about authorship. The question becomes, who is doing the editing? The question becomes, is the editing being announced? The question becomes, is the editing being remembered by anyone, anywhere, as a thing that happened? You are, on this question, the only data point you have. You are, on this question, not enough. The Mandela Foundation, on its website, has a record. The record has no prison death in the 1980s. The record has a death in 2013. The record is the source of truth for the record. The record is not an answer for why the memory is shared. The Mandela Foundation has not addressed the weight. CERN, on its website, has press releases. The press releases are about the science. The press releases are not about what the science is doing to memory. The absence is the part of the press release that has the most weight. The internet has a strange property. The property is that the internet remembers. The threads from 2009 in some places are still there. The threads from 2009 in other places are gone. The places where the threads are gone are the places that say the threads were never there. The hiding is the same as the editing. The editing is the same as the question. The question is not what the Mandela Effect is. The question, by now, is moot. The question is what it would mean if the memory were the thing being changed. The memory is a draft. The draft can be revised. The draft on the evidence has been revised. The revision on the evidence has the specific shape of an edit. The edit on the evidence has not been announced. The edit on the evidence has been remembered by millions as the thing that was there before. You will, tomorrow, open a book. The book on the cover will be the Berenstain Bears. The book on the cover will have no E. You will, on the cover, see the bear. The bear will be the bear your memory says has an E. The bear will not change. The memory will not change. The question will sit in the space between the bear and the memory until one of them is the room you have been living in. We will be back tomorrow. New question, new answer. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss what comes next.